What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name's Nicole and I am a recovering addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015 and I am currently utilizing a maintenance medication called Suboxone. I am down to 2 milligrams, and here on my channel I share with you guys my journey, tapering completely off. I am sharing with you guys my recovery from addiction, and I also facilitate amazing meetings called Medication Assisted Recovery Anonymous, which is MARA, every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yeah, this channel is basically everything addiction recovery in my life. So if that's something you're, into, or you think you could enjoy watching, I hope you'll subscribe, stick around for a while. Give me a little chance. I really think y'all will enjoy it if you decide to stick around. So, before we get into the video, if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. Like I said earlier, subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the notifications because I go live a lot. Right now, since we're all having to quarantine and stay away from each other, social distancing, I'm doing meetings every night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that way, if you're needing recovery support, if you're struggling, if you feel isolated, you feel like you're all alone, you're not. Come hang out with us here on my channel every single night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So now that I got all those little things out of the way, introductions out of the way, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've been seeing on YouTube. Now, I don't do this a lot. This is not my everyday content, but I do have an opinion and I like to share it with my people, okay? So I want to talk about Trevor Moran and Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau. Why can't I get her name right? Tana Mongeau and Trevor Moran, okay? So for those of you guys that don't know who Tana is, she is an influencer, a YouTuber here on YouTube. She's got a couple million subscribers. She also has her own MTV series. She's basically a storytime YouTuber who has, her claim to fame was from her crazy, wild, outlandish story times. She is a party animal. She's a drinker. She smokes pot. She's kicking it high all the time on her channel. So as you can probably imagine, I don't watch her channel a lot because when I watch her, I think of me when I was younger. I think of how irresponsible I was. I think of how my addiction started. And when I watch her, I see myself. And I see someone who's lost, someone who didn't know my way, somebody who was insecure and who was seeking for validation from others and was using drugs and alcohol to cover up the way I felt. So that's why I don't watch her a lot. And then Trevor is one of her very good friends. Now, Trevor also has a YouTube channel, and he has come out on his channel and he has admitted that he is an alcoholic. Okay, he struggles with alcoholism. And he went to rehab, or what he thought was rehab. It wasn't rehab, you guys. It was like a 7-day detox. Rehab, it can be anywhere from 30 days to a year. It's the best rehabs to go to are at least 90 days because 30 days worth of treatment, it's not enough. It's just the tip of the iceberg when you're struggling with addiction, okay? So Trevor went to detox, came out, and went straight back to hanging out with his friends that he's always hung out with. And so you can imagine hanging out with Tana, a literal party girl, somebody who is drinking, smoking, popping ecstasy pills, kicking it, going to the bar, having mad parties, just high all the time. You can imagine that that's not a very good place for someone who is trying to recover from addiction and alcohol problems, okay? So, first of all, I can't blame Trevor because he doesn't know how to stay sober. He went into detox, which, like I said, detox is just where they medically supervise you when you're coming off of drugs or alcohol, and it can be anywhere from like 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, sometimes 10, depending on how bad your withdrawal and your detox goes. So he came out and went right back to hanging out with the same people, places, and things. One thing that they teach you when you go to treatment is to change your people, places, and things. Well, Trevor hadn't been yet. He is currently in rehab right now. So I pray that they're teaching him about changing his people, places, and things. I've seen a lot of people commenting on YouTube and making videos about how Tana's a terrible friend, and if she was a better friend, she wouldn't drink around him. And I have to disagree with you guys, okay? Just because Tana drinks and smokes doesn't mean she's a drug addict, and it doesn't mean that she has to change her everyday lifestyle to suit his, okay? Trevor is responsible for Trevor's sobriety. So if he wants to stay sober, he's going to have to change his friends, and he's going to have to distance himself from Tana and that group of people, okay? Have you ever gotten out of treatment and just gotten sober and gone around your friends who are still drinking and they all act weird because they're not drinking, or they don't want to talk about smoking or anything like that, and they're basically treating you like you're like an alien, and they're like don't know how to act around you because you're like sober now? Yeah, that's what it's like, okay? So what's going to have to happen for Trevor, if he's sincerely serious about staying sober, is that he's going to have to come out of rehab, and he's going to have to reevaluate his life. And he's going to have to ask himself, are these the type of friends that I want to have? Do I want to stay surrounded by people that are drinking and smoking nonstop? If drinking and smoking has had a detrimental effect on his life, and he cannot function, and he's an alcoholic, then it would be in his best interest to distance himself and to not hang out with him anymore. What I think it is that Tana is basically a celebrity, okay? So she's being paid to act the way she acts, okay? I'm not saying that she's acting that way because she gets paid. I'm saying that it's acceptable. The people that are around her are not challenging her to do better. They're all accepting her behavior. So as long as people are accepting her behavior, she is going to continue doing that, and nothing's going to change. If Trevor wants to change his life, he's going to have to hang out with people who are living the life that he wants to have. If Trevor wants to be successful in his sobriety, then he needs to hang out with people who are successful in their sobriety. He needs to surround himself with people who are achieving greatness, people who are being able to have jobs and have homes and their own vehicles and be happy and have families. If that's what he wants for his life, then he has to surround himself with that. They say this saying in rehab, they say, stick with the winners, okay? They also say this. There's a saying in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous where it talks about when we get sober, we have to fight for our recovery like we would if we were a drowning man. We have to, I'm talking like paddle up to the top of the water and keep on treading water and stay away from them drugs and stay away from that alcohol. Like we are just desperate to stay alive. Like we're drowning if we don't hold on to our recovery, that we will drown to the bottom. Okay? That's what you have to do. You have to fucking chase your recovery like you're desperate. So that's what Trevor's going to have to learn to do. He's going to have to be desperate enough to make a change. Okay? So they also say a saying that if you're somebody who's sober and you're surrounding yourself with people who are getting high, you're not going to be able to pull those people up with you and get them sober. It's like jumping into the deep end of the water to save someone who's drowning, and you jump in and you swim over to them and you're going to save them. You're going to pull them out of the water, right? But you don't have a life jacket. So they start grabbing onto you and they're pushing you under to hold themselves up. They're not meaning to drown you, but they're drowning you. That's what happens when somebody who's sober jumps out into the deep end and tries to save somebody who's still getting high. They don't have enough sobriety foundation to be going out there by themselves to save everybody else. They need to bring sobriety foundation with them. They need to bring a life jacket. They need to bring their sober friends. If they want to reach out and try to help change somebody's life, they need to have backup. Every addict in recovery knows that. We don't go at it alone. We bring backup, because I could go out and I could try to help one of my friends that was still getting high, and just one time all it takes is for me to get tempted or for something to happen, and then the next thing you know, I'm getting high with them. So, whew, get excited about it. I said all this to say this. If Tana Mongeau doesn't want to change her life, that is her prerogative. It is all up to Trevor whether or not he really wants to change his life and whether or not he wants to stay sober. And if that's something that he truly wants, then he's going to have to fight for it like he's never fought for anything else. And he's going to have to distance himself from those people that are not staying sober. So that's my 2 cents. I just wanted to add it in there. I hope that helped any of you guys. I really try to relate it back to recovery and share with you guys like my experience and my perspective. And so if you don't know who Trevor and Tana is, you can take their names out of the situation and you can put your own self in that situation. Imagine what it was like when you were trying to get sober and you were still wanting to hang out with those old people, places, and things. So what happened? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get a conversation started. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to know your opinions. So yeah, I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for our recovery support group. All right. Love y'all.